So good afternoon everyone. Today we have discussed about the class power flow of induction motor. So in yesterday class we discussed about torque equations of induction motor. The torque equation of induction motor has two types, that is starting torque as well as running torque. So we have derived the equations. Today class we have discussed about power flow of induction motor. The power flow of induction motor can be classified into four sections, that is stator input, stator output, rotor input and rotor output. The motor has input is electrical energy, and this electrical energy can be converted into mechanical energy by motor option. We have given a three-phase AC supply to the stator. So stator has to be given input, that is, so we have some losses occur in that machines. After that losses, step by step power is to be flow. So the losses in transformer is that is fixed loss and variable loss. The fixed loss is the combination of stator iron loss and friction and windage losses. So whatever that losses occur in the machine that is not vary with the load, that losses is called fixed losses. The fixed losses are two types, that is stator iron loss, stator friction and windage losses. So next stator has variable losses. The variable losses is the combination of the copper losses. That means when the load on the machine is varied, the losses of the machine also is to be varied. So the variable losses is stator copper losses and rotor copper losses. So we have explained power step by step. First of all, I am giving power to the stator. That is called, we can call as a input. That input of the stator, that is equal to the whatever the power developed by that is output plus stator losses. Stator losses, that losses is stator copper losses plus iron losses. Stator copper loss plus iron loss, that combination is the stator input. So after that, the rotor input, that is stator output. Whatever it may be the stator output, that is to the rotor input. So this is the diagram about the pictorial representation of the power flow. So here the active power input, that means here two parts are there, mainly stator and rotor. I am giving step supply to the stator, that is active power input, that has stator has losses occurring, that is copper loss occurring, iron loss occurring. After that losses occurring, some output is to be delivered, that is the stator output. So that is stator output, that stator output is the stator input minus losses. So that stator output is the input of the rotor. Here we can see the rotor has only copper losses, because the iron loss can be neglected, because we can discuss earlier class effect of frequency on rotor parameters, that is rotor current frequency Fr is equal to slip times frequency. Whatever it is, slip times frequency. That slip time frequency, the value is very less. The iron loss depend upon the frequency, so we can neglect the iron loss at rotor section. So on some power is to be developed, that is mechanical power developed. What I am saying, mechanical power developed, that mechanical power developed is the rotor output. Is a rotor output. So after that we can see in that one, the rotor has mechanical losses. That subtraction of the rotor output minus that mechanical loss is the final power developed at the shaft. Final power developed at the shaft. So we can see in that one, that mechanical power loss we indicate Pm, that is equal to Pr minus rotor copper losses. So after that, mechanical power shaft is equal to Pm minus, so friction and windage losses. So whatever the power getting from the rotor output with subtraction of the friction and windage losses, that is the mechanical losses. So we can call mechanical power developed in the that one. So this is the power flow equations. These equations can be represented with help of some equations. That is, we all know that the output power or input power in terms of torque power equal to 2 pi nt by 60. So in terms of watts. So the power input, that means input of the rotor speed is the ns, that is 2 pi ns into t. Tg is the torque developed gross power, Tg divided by 60. The similar way, the power developed at the output is power output equal to 2 pi n, that is the actual speed n. Here we can see that one, where input the speed of the machine is synchronous speed, whereas output the speed of the machine is n. There is some difference between synchronous speed and actual speed, we can discuss, that is in slip speed. So I want rotor copper losses. So we have rotor input is the combination of rotor output plus rotor copper losses. So from that, the difference of between rotor input and rotor output, some losses is occur. That losses is the rotor copper loss as well as iron loss, but iron loss is neglected because the rotor frequency is very very less. So that's why only the difference of input and output is the losses section. That losses is rotor copper losses, that is 2 pi ns into tg divided by 60 minus 2 pi n into tg divided by 60. So finally we can get rotor copper losses. That rotor copper losses is the 2 pi tg by 60 we can common. So 2 pi tg by 60 common, we can get difference between ns minus n, ns minus n. So we can conclude this equation with respect to the rotor input. I am taking rotor input, that rotor input equal to 2 pi ns tg divided by 60. So while considering the equations, 2 pi tg is the cancel out, we can get ns minus n divided by ns. So ns minus n divided by ns is the slip. So we can derive one equation in terms of rotor input and copper losses, that is rotor copper losses equal to slip times rotor input. Rotor copper loss equal to slip times rotor input. That is one of the equation, that relationship between rotor input and rotor copper losses, where slip is rotor copper loss divided by rotor input. The similar way here, rotor gross output, rotor gross output, that means I want rotor output, that means rotor input minus rotor copper losses, rotor input minus rotor copper losses. I can already derive the equation, that is the rotor copper loss equal to slip times rotor input. So that is rotor input minus rotor copper loss, we can replace with slip times rotor input. From that we can common rotor inputs, we can get rotor gross output equal to rotor input into 1 minus s times 1 minus s time. This equation can be compared with rotor inputs, that is rotor gross output with respect to rotor input. So we can finally conclude, so rotor gross output, whatever the above equation is, 1 minus s into rotor input. So with respect to rotor input, rotor input get cancelled. So finally we can derive that equation is 1 minus s times 1 minus s time. So I am also compare the equations, rotor copper loss divided by rotor gross output, that is equal to slip times rotor input divided by 1 minus rotor input. So finally I can get rotor output, that is equal to 2 pi n into tg by 60. Rotor copper loss is what? That rotor copper loss is rotor input minus rotor output. So we can conclude that finally rotor copper loss equal to slip times rotor mechanical power is equal to 1 minus slip times rotor copper loss with respect to rotor gross output. Here we can consider rotor gross output. divided by rotor input. Rotor gross output is 1 minus s times rotor input with respect to rotor input. Rotor input get cancelled, so we can get 1 minus s times. So here the relationship between develop rotor copper loss with rotor mechanical power developed, that is gross output, that is slip times rotor copper loss we have derived. That equation is slip times rotor input, gross output is 1 minus s rotor input, so we can get s by 1 minus s. So finally we can derive the four equations. Whatever the equations that is derived, that is rotor copper loss, the rotor copper loss pc is equal to slip times rotor gross output, pm is equal to rotor input 1 minus s. Next, rotor copper loss equal to slip times divided by 1 minus s. These are the equations. We can finally conclude this. So after that, so we can see that one, they have to compare the induction motor and transformer, that can be compared. So we are already discuss about the induction motor construction and working and working principle. So in first and second units we covered transformers construction as well as regarding single phase as well as three phase we have discussed. So there is a only difference between transformer and induction motor is the induction motor is rotating device. The induction motor is rotating device, the transformer is static device. So there is a rotation in the induction, there is static in the transformer, but working principle is same. So in transformer we have two types of winding, one is lv winding, another one is hv winding. So in induction motor we have two types, that is stator and rotor, same like that, primary and secondary. So in transformer both two windings are electrically separated but magnetically coupled, but here also there the stator and rotor has no electrical connections. Stator and rotor has no electrical connection. So it is another name of induction motor is a rotating transformer, a rotating transformer. So next, speed regulation of the induction motor, speed regulation of the induction motor. So in transformer we studied the voltage regulation, we studied the voltage regulation. That voltage regulation is the change in voltage from no load to full load and expressed as in full load. So similar way here we can also discuss, so the change in speed from no load to full load and expressed with full load. So here one percentage speed regulation can be expressed as no load speed minus full load speed divided by full load speed into 100. So where n naught indicates no load speed of the motor, nfl equal to full load speed of the motor. So one example here we can expand, if the no load speed of the motor is 800 rpm, if the full load speed is 780 rpm. So we have to find the percentage voltage regulation like that of no load speed regulation, that is change in speed from no load to full load, that is full load is 800 minus 780 equal to 20 rpm with respect to the full load speed, that is 800 rpm. So here there is a small mistake, they put in 780 but actually we put 800 into 100. So we can get speed regulation at no load only. Small torque is required to overcome the small mechanical losses and the air gap of the slip is very small. So this is the speed regulation. So next class we discuss about problems related to the power flow of the induction motor. So in this class we have mainly considered power is transferred from stator to rotor within four sections, that is stator input, stator output, rotor input, rotor output. The stator has given supply because motor has electrical to mechanical, we given supply, some losses is occur and output is to be get, that losses is iron and copper loss. So subtraction of the input with iron and copper losses we can get stator output. That stator output is the input of the rotor, and also rotor has two losses actually. What is the copper loss and iron loss? But here the iron loss is neglected because frequency of the rotor is very less. The subtraction of the stator output with respect to the rotor copper loss, we can get gross mechanical power developed. That minus with respect to the friction and windage losses, we can get the torque developed at the shaft of the machine. So we can derive the equations. Some relations is there. Rotor copper loss equal to slip times rotor input. So mechanical power W is equal to 1 minus S into rotor input, and the rotor copper loss divided by rotor mechanical equal to S by 1 minus S. So thank you for watching. So if you have any doubts, please ask, respond in our group, and raise any doubts regarding this.